Oh, hi. I didn't see you come in. I'm Rodney Anonymous. I'm series creator and executive producer of Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen. On the evening of March 18th, 2024, the Dead Milkmen met and we recorded an episode that was to be called Welcome to the End of the World. During this episode, we were going to discuss the album of the same name. We were going to talk about what we remembered about recording it, different techniques, different songs, that sort of thing, like we've done for other albums. But when we were done with this one, we all agreed that out of the over 200 episodes that we had recorded, this was by far the best one. I think we hugged. I cried. I'm not ashamed to say that I cried. We were really, really happy with it. Shortly after we were done recording, or thought we were done recording, we received an email from series creator and executive producer Joe Jack Talcum stating that something had gone wrong in the recording process and that the whole show had in fact been lost. Needless to say, we were a little bit upset.
Bastard! Bastard! Bastard!
So the band held an emergency meeting, and I was empowered to recreate the entire episode from memory using only paper figures glued to popsicle sticks. And it was also decided that we would not use actual photos of the band members because this might confuse new viewers if they saw, the band members being moved around on popsicle sticks. So we decided what we would do we would use avatars. It's what all those crazy young people are using in things like Half-Life and whatever else the hell they're doing. So we thought this would be a really good idea, and this is why Dan Stevens will be represented by the avatar being Grizzly Adams. That's right. TV's Grizzly Adams. A man and a bear can't always get along. Dan Haggerty will be representing Dan Stevens. Dean Clean will be represented by Cleanser mascot and possible adult film star Mr. Clean. We thought about using Dean Stockwell, the actor, but then this seemed like it might be a little too obscure, so we went with this. Joe Jack Talcum will be represented by Brazilian horror icon Coffin Joe. Yes, that's right. The star of At Midnight, I'll Take Your Soul, and also This Night, I'll Possess Your Corpse. By the way, both of these films are available to stream on Shudder. Shudder. They don't pay us, but they probably should. And I will be represented by Darren McGavin as Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Yes. Ralphie, get in here and bring your BB gun. There's a vampire loose in Las Vegas. So, without further ado, let us now present the lost episode of Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen. Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen. And that, gentlemen, is why you should never, ever Google soaking. You got that? Oh, wait, I think we're on. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning. Whenever you watch this, whenever you settle into your log cabin with your grizzly bear and you watch this show, welcome to Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen. Tonight, we are discussing our album. Well, is it an album? Well, it's really more of an EP. Yeah, it's got 6 songs on it. Much like Station to Station, which is my favorite album. Okay, it's our EP, Welcome to the End of the World, which came out in 2018? I think it was 2017. Yeah, I think it was 2017. Well, I'm not paying anything more than $12.50 for it. So it came out in 2017, and let me say, I really like this album. I like it, and my bear Ben likes this album. And it's really good. We got to record it. First time ever we recorded at Sign Studios. Yes, this was the first time we were working with the Giving Groove. Yeah, so that was really enjoyable. And we also got to work at Forge Studios, which is out in Orland, PA. Yeah, I think we got to work there because at Forge because Rodney had a friend who was taking classes, and this was kind of like his final. Yeah, he recorded us for his final, and I think they failed him for recording us. Okay, so it was really a good time making it, and I really like this album. I too like this album. I found the production to be very clean. I got a credit on this, my only credit, for playing the triangle, which I had polished up, and one of the engineers said he'd never seen a triangle that clean. So yeah, and I also like the artwork for this album. I too like the artwork for this album. I like the artwork for this album. I like the artwork for this album very much. Yeah, it's one of the few times that we used a photo for the album, and I think that worked out very nice. So, Joe, do you have any thoughts on this? Well, we have recorded the song "The Coast Is Clear" at Ford Studio in Orland, and I remember I would take the train there every day, which is nice because the weather was nice, and I could take my guitars and walk to the station. Joe, was this the first instance, if I remember, of someone yelling at you because of your Gibson? Yeah, that's what happened. This is the first time it happened. All right, for those of you at home who may not be familiar with this story, Joe, and this has happened a couple times, was walking with his Gibson, and a car slowed down and said, "Is that a Gibson?" And when Joe said yes, they shouted a horrible pejorative at him, and it happens 3 or 4 times since then. And I'm always amazed when it happens. So yeah, we enjoyed recording there, and on Coast Is Not Clear, I used my iPad to create some of the sounds for the guitar, and the sad thing was that later on my iPad got stolen, and I hadn't backed up any of the VSTs or the settings up to the cloud, so I lost all that. Well, gentlemen, I think that we can all agree on this. We have 3 words for whoever stole Joe's iPad.
Bastard! Bastard! Bastard!
So, Rodney, do you have any thoughts on Welcome to the End of the World? Yeah, I should like this album a lot more than I do. It was made, I like when their constraints are put on things. Like make an album and only have 3 songs on it. I find that's helpful. You know, when you put constraints on, like make an entire video from memory using only popsicle stick puppets. It's something I can get behind. I'm going to put up right now the song order that as I thought it should be, because this actually tells a story. If you have the digital version of the album or the MP3s, you can do this. Although I know where you're going to get them because you can't find the album on Bandcamp at all. So that's kind of interesting. So. Yeah, the way it should do, because it tells a story if you go this way. So it would start with Battery-Powered Rat, which begins in the Vatican, like all good end-of-the-world apocalypse things should. And there are 2 popes playing Ratzinger, because there were 2 popes for a while, like there were in the 1300s, one in Avignon and one in Rome. The Ratzinger and Pope Don't Call Me Francis are playing chess. And then one of them says, "Did you even excommunicate anyone today?" And then the other one says, "No." And he says, "Well, what kind of pope are you?" But those were voiced by Dean and Dan, because I thought it'd be fun because they don't sing on a lot to have them there. And then came the song. Then would come in order this way, the song "Only the Dead Get Off at Kymlinge," which is about a weird ghost station outside of Stockholm. So we'll put up a link to that. And I wanted to have a train song on the album because Station to Station, which is my favorite album of all time, had 6 songs on it. And this was going to have 6 songs on it, so it definitely had to have a train song. And then there's a song called "Welcome to the End of the World" about a guy who goes out to a party, and then he comes home. This is word for word what happened to me one night, and he passes out in front of the TV. So that's that. And then the side 2 would start after the world ends, brutalist beat, where everything is brutalist architecture and really frightening. And then there would be "Coast Is Not Clear," which has a paranoid hint to it. And then the very last song, "Tomorrow Should Have Been Here Years Ago," is about people being lined up to be executed. So it's a real pick me up. So. Well, thank you all for sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate it. I think right now we can go to recommendation. Ladies and gentlemen, to present tonight's recommendations, please welcome Julianne Moore and Keanu Reeves. Well, Keanu, it's a real honor to be here giving the recommendations. Oh yes, it's totally excellent. The recommendations from Dan Stevens are WRDV, Delaware Valley Radio. Dan said that this is a really weird station, and the band Googled it and found out it really, really is. Dan said that they play a lot of old-timey music, and you had to be careful because there was some casual racism there. And we suggested that their motto should be traffic, weather, and casual racism on the twos. But definitely, if you want to have a good time, Google WRDV, Delaware Valley Radio, because every single photo is strange. We're not photoshopping any of this, folks. This is what it all looks like. Dean had recommended Pipe Dreams, the new album from Hainbach, and Look Mom No Computer, at which point everyone in the band agreed that Hainbach is just such a sweetheart, such a nice guy, and that Sam, Look Mom No Computer, is the most caffeinated individual on the earth. And then Dean also recommended Making of Video, the massive sound of Varispeed, where basically Hainbach shows you the big Varispeed tape system that they had. All right, Keanu, would you like to talk about the other recommendations? Totally. All right. Joe recommended, by a weird bit of Jungian synchronicity, Joe recommended a video from Look Mom No Computer, a.k.a. Sam. And that is called A Modified Tape Delay a modified tape delay with 6 times as many tape heads, the MEGACAT. Okay, sorry. It was... I left my glasses in the Matrix, so I couldn't really see that. And then Rodney recommended some Philadelphia music. First, he recommended the album from Gibbous Moon, which is called Saturn 5, and these guys are Philadelphia legends, and I think you really, really enjoy this, so go out and get that. It's on Bandcamp, and if you can get the CD, get the CD. And then Rodney recommended the new video from Live Not on Evil, which is called Shake, and you can go watch that too. All this stuff will be in the links. And then Rodney recommended something called A Bunch of Dudes in Isolation by a Bunch of Dudes in Isolation. And it turns out he was part of this project, but he was the least famous person in it. And we'll put up a list of the people, and you can see that he is indeed the least famous. Well, thank you, Keanu. I think I've enjoyed giving these recommendations, and I believe that you have enjoyed giving them as well. Yes, I have. It was awesome. It was. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh no! It's a grizzly bear. The award ceremony is being attacked by a grizzly bear. Bogus! Oh no! We got to get out of here. Run for the hills. I will go to Count Dracula. Oh! Sometimes you just don't know how to end a video. And that's why you should never Google blue waffles.